What's up guys, I'm Chris Doughty, aka Doughtinator, aka Doug, recently named by Basic Ollie. So this race is my viewpoint on the controversial race between Basic Ollie and Kireth Kart. As you can see here, this is a full A+ lobby for daily racing, which is absolutely insane. At the time, I think my qualifying time put me maybe top 30 in EMEA, but only good enough for 8th in this race, which is absolutely insane. Basic Ollie is in Nissan GT-R. The car of choice here is the Bugatti Veyron, awesome top speed. As we're going to get into the brakes in turn 1, King is maybe a little early on the brakes, so we just bump into him. Sorry about that, King Ears. Burst managed to jump 2 places into turn 1, and that wasn't the first race he did that. So that's going to really throw a spanner in the works for King Ears and myself. Right behind us is Dive Bomb, and then we have Kireth. Basic Ollie is a little bit further up the road, but he's gone off menu with car choice. He's gone for the Nissan GT-Rs. We're going to go through the second chicane on the first lap, and we're going to take it very cautiously. It looks like there's penalties for drivers ahead. We're right in the slipstream of King Ears, and we're going to be looking to get back in front. Actually work with King Ears to get back in front of Burrs. So it looks like penalty ahead for Lawrence 321, I think it is, in the purple Veyron. We've had some fantastic races with Lawrence, and also it looks like Basic Ollie would have got a penalty in that Minty Boy GTR into the braking zone for Ascari. We're going to just back off a little bit, give King Ears a bit of room, make sure we don't bump into him. He runs a little bit wide into Ascari, and we've just backed off him just to give him a bit of room. He gets on the flashes there, I think, to thank us for understanding that. Right now it's lap 1. We want to be working together, we want to be racing together, progressing forward. So we're going to form an alliance with King Ears. I'm going to bump draft him every opportunity we can. I'm just going to ease off him into this the final corner in Parabolica, but we're going to bump him all the way down the main straight. Now at the time I didn't see this signal. He gave me a flash on the indicator. I didn't know if he wanted me to pass, but I didn't see this at the time, so we're just going to bump him all the way down the straight. Hopefully raise his top speed, raise our top speed, break away from the cars behind and close the gap for the cars ahead. Into the braking zone, we're going to back off, give him a bit of room, and then time our braking so we get as close as we can. No point in bumping them into the braking zone. That is not going to be very useful, as we are 5.7 to the leaders. VSR Catfish is one of the fastest drivers at this track. Unbelievable speed. I think he's like 3rd in the world at the moment. As we just look behind us, Basic Ollie has got past Dive Bomb, and he's going to start to close in on us. We're going to get into the braking zone for this second chicane. Careful not to cut. Very easy to get a penalty. We don't want to be doing that. As you can see, a penalty flash up for somebody ahead. I think that's probably too far ahead to affect us at all. And we're going to try and just stay close to King Ears. Hopefully we can both close into the back of Burrs, as King Ears just a bit of lag there. That really put me off. But it looks like all is good. Back in with King Ears. Basic Ollie is closing in. Now that GTR, it doesn't have the top speed of the Veyron, but it is absolutely awesome through the corners like Lesmo, through Ascari. Absolutely fantastic car through there. So that's going to be, well, it's going to be a real pain in the ass, to be honest, because he's going to be fast in the corners and slow on the straights. He's closing in, but he's got a bit of swaz. Managed to keep control of that swaz, and he's just lost a bit of time, but you can see how much he closed in through Ascari. Now Basic Ollie is a superbly fast driver, and for him to be in the non-menu choice car, the non-favoured car, is going to be a real spanner in the works, as we're going to get a good run on King Ears. With Basic Ollie being so close, I think right now I'm considering just to break my alliance with King Ears, and just get in front, and then try and have my own battle with Burrs. We're just going to pull out the slipstream here and just go for an offset braking move here, late on the brakes, slightly later than King Ears, to the inside, who I think King Ears had to back up for Burrs then, so that let us get the pass quite easily. Now we're going to look forward to try and catch Burrs now. Monza in Group 4 in the Veyron, I feel quite strong here. I feel like I've got really good race pace. Looking now to nail our braking point into the second chicane, just before the path on the right hand side, on the brakes, right down to second gear, and just looking not to cut too much. We get a bit of we've made a mistake there. The rear seems to have stepped out on us, and we've just had a bit of a trip to the gravel, which puts us on the back foot. I think we've got a slight nudge from behind it. Now we've got gravel on our tyres, and we're just lacking a bit of grip there, and we've got Basic Ollie to the inside, side by side through the corner, and we're off into the gravel again. At the time I thought that was an aggressive move. I have since watched it back. I watched Basic Ollie's stream, and he left me loads of room on the outside. Now I don't know if that's contact physics, lag or anything like that, but we definitely felt some contact which put us wide. But I have watched Basic Ollie's stream, and he absolutely left me loads of room on the outside. So I'm going to put it down to a bit of game lag there, a bit of pinball physics maybe. We know what the car contact physics can be like in GT Sport sometimes. So that's put us back down. We're in ninth. The race isn't over. It's a very long and very tactical race, this one. Not tactical for strategy. It's a no-stop race on hard tyres, but it is strategy for who you're going to work with, when you're going to fight, and when you're going to look to make the moves. So right now we're in a bit of a dead space. No one to slipstream and no one in our slipstream. But we're just looking now to nail our braking point. We know our entry speed, we know the braking point. We're going to hit our braking point absolutely perfectly, down through the gears, right down to first gear as they're going side by side and battling ahead. King Ears looks to have missed out there as Dive Bomb seems to have made a move. But here we go, back in the slipstream. You can see how much the fighting for cars ahead can just bring them back to you. So yeah, we've got King Ears ahead. Kireth is now behind us. And we also have JM Bria from the back of the grid. A lot of aliens starting from the back of the grid in this race. Zavisic is also there. We've got a bit of kick swaz on the left-hander there. Something not quite right there, but we're going to look ahead. Basic Ollie's looking for the move on Dive Bomb. Dive Bomb's a little bit wide through Lesmo 1. Basic Ollie to the inside of Dive Bomb, and he's made that move. It's going to bunch the drivers up, and we're going to look to close in. I think now we're going to look to make a move on King Ears. We want to be bridging the gap, making the moves forwards and shuffling back to where we were. So we're going to just offset our braking. It looks like King Ears got on the brakes a little early then, so I think he's actually let us through. And I think he's playing the tactical race now. He wants to follow ourselves. Dive Bomb with the penalty, track cut penalty, I think. So Dive Bomb's going to be in a bit of trouble within the lapse time when he comes to the penalty zone, and King Ears is in our slipstream, and I think he wants to work with us. So basically doesn't have the slipstream of the cars ahead. In that GTR, which does suffer on top speed, he's going to be a sitting duck for Dive Bomb on the straight here. But Dive Bomb does have that 0.5 second penalty. So let's see how things pan out here. The race is going to kick off, and you'll get to see some controversial moves very shortly, I think, as we're going to close in onto the back of Basic Ollie in that Minty Boy GTR, and Dive Bomb's made the move, but he's got his penalty to serve. We're going to try and get into the slipstream of Basic Ollie and try and get that place back that we lost before running wide. King Ears is still following us, and it looks like the pack behind is starting to close up. Looking ahead to nail our braking point into the second chicane as we get a personal best, and we just clip the apex nicely. No swaz this time for ourselves. Basic Ollie with a slightly compromised exit. We're going to go to the inside. We're going to make a move. Basic Ollie backs out, but we carry a bit too much speed in, a bit too early on the corner apex. We follow Dive Bomb for the track, and we're gravel trapping, and we're going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 places in, well, one corner. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, I just completely misjudged that. I think my offset line to overtake Basic Ollie just meant that we just got the wrong corner entry, apex too soon. There's Dive Bomb, who has just served his penalty. We're going to look to the outside into Ascari, think better of it, and then try and fall in line. And now we've got a complete queue of cars behind us. We're going to look to clear Dive Bomb soon, because we don't want to get swallowed up by those cars behind. Zavizic now onto the leaderboard, and we've got a potential alien coming back through the pack, and he's got to us by only lap 5, going around Parabolica. We're on the wide line here, and we're going to get an exit, but we've lost slipstream to the cars ahead, which is going to fragment the pack a little bit. This is not ideal for our race. We don't want to be racing forwards, but we've now got a bit of a train behind us, and it looks like hopefully Dive Bomb will want to work with us. A little bump to assist us would be nice, which is done. Thank you very much, Dive Bomb. And then just onto the braking zone, we get a little nudge from behind, which sends us a bit too fast into the braking zone, and we really screw up turn 1. As one of the incidents ahead there, we didn't quite catch it this time, but it looks like Basic Ollie was on the outside of Kireth for the exit of the first chicane. That move, to me, Kireth left room on the outside. I've watched both the streams. Maybe not quite enough room, but I think Basic Ollie was also being very ambitious there, going around the outside. Both Team Rock teammates, I'm sure they don't mind a bit of hard racing, but that's actually ideal for us because it allows us to bridge the gap. We had lost slipstream, but we're now back in touch with Basic Ollie, and the cars ahead are going side by side, and King Ears is wide on the exit of Lesmo 2. We're going to take the opportunity. Hopefully we've got the room, and we just have the room on the outside. Basic Ollie 1 place ahead, and we're going to try and close in that gap now. Once again looking for our braking point, to nail our braking point into Ascari. We close in very quickly into the back of Basic Ollie, but we managed to make the corner. I think a little bit of overspeed from slipstream caught me out there, but we've managed to do okay out of it. Looks like King Ears now got himself a penalty with maybe a track cut. This could be our opportunity to break away from the cars behind, but we've not quite got the slipstream from the cars ahead. We need a really good Parabolica here, as it looks like JM Beer is out wide, Lawrence to the inside. Basic Ollie is just looking to see what's happening with the battles ahead, and this is actually working out ideally for us because we're starting to close in, and we're now just about in slipstream range. It's going to be a difficult corner entry. There's a lot of cars going side by side there. Lawrence to the inside. We're going to offset our braking to the outside. Basic Ollie sneaks down the inside of Kireth, side by side through there. Oh, that was very close. A little bit of room given on the outside, maybe not the most room, but again Basic Ollie going for a big dive and then trying to drive on the outside of Kireth, and we are side by side with Basic Ollie through Curva Grande, looking for the braking zone into the second chicane, and we're going to clear him. He's going to back off and give us that chicane as we're going to go through there quite nicely. No cutting. We cannot get a penalty now. Critical phase of the race, and we're going to be looking to close in on Lawrence 321 and Kireth now, as we've made the same mistake again. We're in the gravel. Unbelievable stuff. Basic Ollie gets past. We're going to have dirt on our tyres, so we're going to go a little bit wide again, and we've really thrown that away. We were just able to get in touch with Kireth and Lawrence there, but again, a mistake into Lesmo 1 has really caused a problem, and dropped us back down the order. A little bit of dirt on our tyres into here maybe, and we've got a bit of understeer, and we're just starting to lose touch with Basic Ollie. That Minty Boy GTR is awesome through Ascari, and we've really missed out there. Looking behind now, Portuguese driver. We're going to be looking to him to give us a little hand, and we're going to go into Parabolica. We've lost a huge amount of time there to the drivers ahead, but Basic Ollie has pulled into the slipstream of Lawrence 321 and Kireth. We're going to rely on the Portuguese driver to give us some boost down the straight. You can see on screen the Race Asylum Bugatti. Absolutely fantastic livery created by myself. There'll be a link to my GT Sport profile in the description below, and also there'll be a link to the Race Asylum Discord in the description below. Check those out. A lot of cool stuff happening in there. As Basic Ollie looks like he's got a bit of a poor exit from the chicane there. If you are enjoying this race, drop a like, consider subscribing. Always appreciate everyone. Also in the comments below, let me know what you're thinking. you think Basic Ollie or Kireth was in the right in some of these moves. There's more moves still to come. As we close in massively onto the back of Basic Ollie, this Veyron power is absolutely awesome down the straight. We're going to go through second chicane, quite nicely done there. But Basic Ollie in that Minty Boy GTR is absolutely awesome through the chicanes. Through Lesmo 1, a little bit wide for ourselves, but we actually do back out this one. We don't run into the gravel like our usual tactic. And that GTR through these two Lesmos is unbelievably good. Basically now in the slipstream of Kireth, we're just about keeping in touch, and we're slightly dropping the cars behind, so it looks like we've managed to do what we've intended to do. And we're going to try and spot our braking zone into Ascari as we go personal best into Ascari, slightly missing the apex again there, and it looks like we are also through Ascari, through all the chicanes. That Minty Boy GTR is absolutely unbelievable. And as you look on the leaderboard there in 12th, Zavicic is now back on track to come through the field. So we need to pay attention to his progress through the race. Coming along now to finish lap number 8, we've got dropped again a little bit. That GTR through the corners, as long as it can keep in the slipstream, is quite formidable. But out on its own, it stands no chance against the Veyrons. As we're now onto the penultimate lap, big shout out to Loopy. That is one of his favourite sayings. We spot our braking zone into turn 1 as perfect as we can be. Basically, it looks like it got a little bit alongside Kireth and outside into the braking zone, which is ideal for us. Once more, we've nailed that first chicane, and we're back in slipstream range of Basic Ollie. A rare moment to catch my breath now as we go through Curva Grande. Just closing into the back of Basic Ollie, Lawrence and Kireth have just started to break away. We're going to try and spot our braking zone. We have got the overspeed being in the slipstream, and it looks like Lawrence has gone wide into the second chicane there. It's given Kireth a chance at the inside into Lesmo 1. Myself and Basic Ollie now closing in side by side through Lesmo 1 for Lawrence and Kireth. Basic Ollie wants part of the action as well. Lawrence had just touched the grass. He's got a bit of a spin. We tried to go to the inside, but we didn't quite make that, which is going to leave us vulnerable to Zavicic, who's on the outside, who will be on the outside into Ascari, but he's got us cleared. This could be a good person to latch onto the back of and follow through. We're going to get perfect braking just behind Zavicic, watching this legend go through Ascari and hopefully get the overspeed on the slipstream down the straight here. Zavicic with a really good corner exit. I'm interested to see how this is going to play out, because we're getting very bunched up and we'll be crossing the stripe to start the final lap. Basic Ollie to the inside of Lawrence. We're going to go a little bit wide around Parabolica, but we're going to bring it back to the inside, and we're going to get in the slipstream of Zavicic and all the drivers ahead. And we've got a really good exit. We're going to have a very big overspeed as we're going to cross the stripe. Final lap. We don't quite know where to go. We can go to the inside. Kireth is very much near the inside. Basic Ollie is squeezing a little bit, and they're going to just about make room for each other. Into turn 1, Zavicic with a 4-car dive squeezes Kireth in the middle. Basic Ollie has nowhere to go. Kireth is squashed in the middle, and we've managed to get through there. I think that was a little bit caused by Zavicic, to be honest. We're a bit bunched up now. Basic Ollie and Kireth side by side. Kireth has now been pushed to the front of this pack. It looks like we're going to have a difficult braking zone. Basic Ollie he's missed his braking point. He's took amazing avoiding action. So Basic Ollie is out. Kireth is heading the pack. Lawrence Zavicic, Portuguese driver, I can't pronounce his name. And now we're going to go into Lesmo 1, and it looks like Kireth and Lawrence side by side there. Lawrence has just managed to get ahead. Now we're going to go into the run down to Ascari. What is going to happen? We're now in 11th place. I'm not sure what we can make into Ascari. We've just got a bit of overspeed on this Portuguese driver. We're going to look to the inside, but not quite go for the move. Zavicic is just looking threatening behind Kireth. Lawrence heading this pack, and we're going to go into the run down to Parabolica. I'm not sure what we're going to be able to do here. I think we're a little bit out of range. The guys have dropped off behind, so I think we're kind of stuck in 11th. Let me know what you think to that race. I honestly, one of the best races I've had. Personally, I made a few mistakes. I really am quite annoyed at myself for running wide at Lesmo a couple of times. But yeah, things happen. A fantastic race. Great to be racing in such superb company. We're going to cross the line in 11th. If you have enjoyed that, consider subscribing, drop a like, and then we finish off in 11th. Now, in the race before this, quite interestingly, Basic Ollie made a small error, and we're going to go through that now. Bonus footage for you all now. In the race before this, we had a great race. Burrs makes another unbelievable dive bomb into turn 1. Standard Burrs, it seems, for this time. We're going to get some payback now into Ascari. We're going to hang it around the outside of Burrs. Quite a rare move to do, but we're going to go around the outside. Burrs is going to be compliant, and we're going to get the inside for the middle part of Ascari and clear him and make that move done. That was quite a satisfying move to get that onto Burrs. Now, later on in the race, I'm braking into turn 1, running in 7th, and I'm going to brake absolutely perfectly, turn in, and boom. I have no idea what happened there. After the race, Basic Ollie said sorry. I went back, checked the replay, and yeah, Basic Ollie made a huge error on the brakes and just got to the inside and a little punt off. Now, he did this live on stream, and he was 100% apologetic about that. But yeah, don't worry about it, Ollie. Honestly, it's all fun. I enjoy the racing. It's all good. With that being said, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all on the track next time.